Today we're taking a look at the Atlas Masterline HO Scale New Jersey Transit ALP45DP. So starting from the front of the cab, we got the horn right on top. New Jersey Transit logo on the side, some road number. It's also manufactured by Bombardier, so you can see that tiny little Bombardier logo right there. We've also got some rivets around the window gaskets. And there are some painted head and power caps at the bottom. It also does include a cab interior for the engineer to sit in. Now we're going to move down along the sides. We've got a lot of little details, like the little American flag right there, some warning labels, the vent, as well as a little F right there. I don't know what the F stands for. A little step up for the cab for the driver to climb on board. And they did a pretty nice job doing that nice transition with the gradient, with the blue, magenta, and orange stripe. Also on the sides, we got these two little valves, along with some bottom detailing. Now moving along to the back, we've got the orange stripe transitions out of it. There's another hidden door here, along with a side vent and Bombardier logo, as well as the pantograph on top. Here's a view of the back. We've got a rear door here, along with a window wiper inside. There's a little box here sticking out. Got like a little ledge for the doorway, colored head and power, as well as the road number. On the other side, we got that. That's actually on both sides, like hidden doorway. A lot of things are similar, but on this side, there's actually these two vents here in the middle. So that's an easy way you can tell between the sides. And here's what the front end looks like, and it is very, very similar to the other side. On the roof, we got the PTC antenna right there. Some fan vent detailing on the very top, and that is actually kind of see-through right there. Some more vents over here, and another set of fans in the back. We've also got a pantograph there in the back. This is just to pick up electricity. Since this is a dual power locomotive, that's what DP stands for. It can run on either diesel or electric. Now to actually activate the pantograph, you'll just have to press the switch down. So you can move this pantograph up and down. It is pretty flexible, although in its default position, if you just leave it up, it will be tilted back, and that's actually normal. Alright, so now let's take a look on what's on the bottom, because there are some detail there as well. Here's what the truck looks like underneath, as well as a little box for the coupler. There is some piping that going on right over here, a little air cylinder tank. And there is also this thing, it actually goes up in a diagonal, and the back also has that as well. We also got a battery box right there in the middle. It says Atlas made in China if you can't read that. The back is quite similar to the front, it's just shifted the other direction. And I must say this locomotive is pretty heavy. So this is the Atlas New Jersey Transit Bombardier multi-level coach. It's a bi-level coach, and this one has a toilet. So here's what the end of the car looks like. We've got this open gangway here with the vestibule inside. There's no door covering up the entrance, but I like how they did the rubber tubing. There's also some little details scattered around, marker lights, little triangles on top. I'm guessing those are just anchor points if you want to haul the car with a crane or something. Here's what it looks like all around on the other side. You can see a little bit of the inside. There is also a closed doorway in there. At the bottom, we've got some nice little danger signs, which are actually quite legible. On the side, we've got a lot of tiny little details. New Jersey Transit logo, two doorways here. Panel down here, the car number, the gray triangle to attach to the bogie, a little vent at the very top. Tiny sign next to the doorway, and even in the door window there is a little yellow at the bottom. This is just a very highly detailed model. Now here on the side we've got a bunch of these windows here. Some of them do have the emergency labels, and on the bottom you can see some white FRA stripes. It's a very subtle detail, and you'll notice this window here is actually covered up, and this is one of the ways you can tell between each side of the car. And this part here does not have a window, and that's because that's actually where the bathroom is. Now let's pick up this car and rotate it so you guys can see the other end, which is pretty identical to the other side. Nothing really changed there. Now on this side, it's pretty identical, so the only way you can tell is that window right there is not missing anymore. And here's what the roof looks like. So we got some nice two vents right there, like a little cross. I personally think they did a really good job on this. They look excellent. There's also some more detail on the roof here in the middle. There is, I believe that's like an emergency exit from the ceiling. And there also is this cool little rivet detail here on the side. On the other end of the car, we have pretty much the same detail. Unlike the locomotive, which is super heavy, this is actually a really light car for its size. And the inside does include seating. So now we're taking a look at the Conrail Heritage Coach. Now for New Jersey Transit's 40th anniversary, they decided to paint some coaches into some predecessor railroads, and Conrail actually used to operate all New Jersey Transit lines. So it is special to them. I just got it because I like Conrail, and they have a pretty cool color scheme and logo. And you'll notice this window here is also missing. This time it's a little square as opposed to that rectangular one on the other one. And here's what the other side looks like. It doesn't have that missing window like the other side did. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is identical. Now, a cool thing about these coaches, they actually have some suspension. So there's like a little spring in the couplers. So when these coaches are moving, they will have a little bounce to them. I found that's a pretty fun feature to have. And also, I think it looks more realistic that way. So what would a New Jersey Transit bi-level train be without the cab car? It's a pretty essential car. You put this at the back of the train to control it so it can run in either direction. So now let's go take a look at the details. So here we got a nice little gangway, some windows for the cab operator to look out of, horn on the top in the middle, and a plow on the bottom. On the top we got a nice little box right there next to the horn. And here's what it looks like on the side. And this is actually interesting. This number board has a white background, so I think it's maybe like backlit in real life as compared to the other side, which is just black. And you can also see these two windows here, they are missing. And that's just because the bathroom is there. Now if you rotate around, here's what it looks like. There also is a tiny little box on that end as well, right in the roof corner. Anyways, here's what it looks like on the other end. We've got most of the windows, except this time on this side, there is a missing window right there underneath the number board, as well as a window in place of what usually would be a door, and that's just for the train operator to sit in. There's also all these little tiny little parts scattered around the build. Now if you take a look on the front end, here's what it looks like. Some nice windshield wiper detail. So now I have assembled all the New Jersey Transit rolling stock together so you guys can see what they look like in comparison to each other. All the coaches are pretty much the same detail wise on the roof. Just the cab car does have these boxes on the ends as well as the horn in the front. The coaches are extremely long, they dwarf the size of the ALP 45, and that's one of the things I've noticed when I first unboxed it. It was just, wow, this is actually way bigger than I thought it was going to be. You know, one of the reasons why I bought this train originally is because it's actually one of the only passenger trains that are available in HO scale that I have actually seen in real life. They don't really have Metro North or Long Island Railroad, at least from the modern day era, so I think Atlas is pretty good for doing that, although they are based in New Jersey, so of course they're gonna do a New Jersey train. On my other channel, Fox Yard, I posted a video of it when I went rail fanning in Boundbrook, New Jersey, so if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to check it out. So for my final thoughts of these Atlas trains, I think they are pretty well detailed. The ALP 45DP, it's a pretty unique locomotive, being a dual mode, so it has that pantograph in the back, but you can also run it down if you don't have power lines like I do. And that little metal plate from the beginning of the video, that's actually a template where you can apply the grab irons, but I don't have the tools to put that on. I really wish it was factory applied, but I guess they're just trying to save costs. As for the multi-level coaches, I think Atlas did an amazing, phenomenal job on these. These are just packed with so much detail from the real life thing, so every little rivet, every little bump they have it on this, every little sticker. I am also a fan of the Conrail Heritage coach. I think it looks nice if you just don't have like all three of the same thing and have one with a different livery. One thing I was concerned about when I was purchasing this is whether the paint would look right, like if it would look plasticky and flat like a toy. That's what my fear was, but it turns out in real life it looks a lot better, especially looking at all these details from multiple angles, lighting. It does have a nice metallic finish to it if you look closely. I did like the fact that they included interior lighting as well as seating inside. Just overall, it's a pretty good passenger train if you're looking for one in HO scale. It does cost quite a bit, but I think it is worth its price, and especially if you're into New Jersey Transit, I would recommend this train. If you're wondering where I got this from, I got them mostly from modeltrainstuff.com, except for the cab car. That came from Tony's Train Exchange. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, remember hit that like button down below, subscribe if you hadn't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.